Another day, another story. Welcome to Scary Stories, the channel that brings you the most spine-chilling tales from around the world. In this episode, we bring you the harrowing story of Woodsboro, a small town in the USA, where a maniac dressed in a black robe and a terrifying mask caused a series of brutal murders that left the locals in fear for their lives. Only 4 friends managed to survive the killer's rampage, but little did they know that the nightmare was far from over. In this continuation of the story, we follow the 4 friends as they try to move on with their lives, only to find that the killer has returned, more vicious than ever before. Join us as we delve into the dark and twisted world of the Woodsboro killer, and discover the horrifying truth behind his actions. This is a story that will chill you to the bone, and leave you questioning whether evil truly exists in the world. So, sit back, turn off the lights, and prepare to be scared. This is Scary Stories, and this is the story of Woodsboro. The survivors of the Woodsboro killings, Randy, Sydney, Dewey, and Gail, had thought they were finally safe. They had all moved on with their lives, trying to forget the traumatic events of that fateful night. But they were wrong. The killer had returned, and this time, he was more vicious than ever before. The 4 friends received a phone call, and the voice on the other end was all too familiar. It was the killer. He taunted them, telling them that he was going to finish what he started and that they would never be safe. The friends tried to contact the police, but the killer was always one step ahead of them. As the days passed, the friends began to notice strange occurrences around them. They would receive threatening notes, see the killer's shadowy figure lurking in the shadows, and hear his eerie laughter echoing in the night. The killer seemed to be everywhere, and there was no escape. The 4 friends knew they had to take matters into their own hands. They had to find the killer and stop him before he could harm anyone else. With each passing moment, the tension rose, and the fear became palpable. Finally, they discovered the killer's lair, a decrepit old house on the outskirts of town. Armed with nothing but their wits, they entered the house, ready for a fight. What they found inside was beyond their worst nightmares. The killer was not alone. He had a group of loyal followers, all dressed in black robes and wearing the same terrifying mask. A fight broke out, and the friends found themselves outnumbered and outmatched. Just when all seemed lost, the police burst in, guns blazing. In the ensuing chaos, the killer and his followers managed to escape, but they left behind a trail of evidence that would lead to their capture. The town of Woodsboro was finally safe, and the friends could finally move on with their lives. But the memories of that horrific time would always haunt them, and they would never forget the terror they had experienced at the hands of the masked killer. The investigation led by the police uncovered the identity of the killer and his followers. They were all part of a cult that worshipped an ancient deity of death and destruction. The cult believed that by offering sacrifices to the deity, they could attain immortality and power beyond imagination. The killer, who had once been a shy and introverted resident of Woodsboro, had been brainwashed by the cult and turned into a ruthless murderer. He had been trained in the art of killing and had been given the mask as a symbol of his devotion to the deity. The revelation shocked the entire town, and many residents found it hard to believe that such evil could exist in their midst. The friends, who had been the killer's primary targets, were hailed as heroes and praised for their bravery in facing the cult. As for the killer and his followers, they were all captured and brought to justice. The killer was sentenced to life in prison, and the members of the cult were all given long prison terms. The town slowly started to heal, and life returned to some semblance of normalcy. But the memory of the Woodsboro killings lingered on, and the town would never be the same again. The residents knew that they had come dangerously close to the brink of destruction, and they vowed to never let such evil take root in their town again. The friends, who had gone through so much together, remained close and stayed in touch. They knew that they would always have a special bond, forged in the fires of adversity, and that they would always be there for each other, no matter what. So, if you ever find yourself in Woodsboro, be careful. The town may seem quiet and peaceful, but there are dark forces at work beneath the surface. And if you hear a strange noise in the middle of the night or see a shadowy figure lurking in the shadows, don't hesitate to call for help. This has been another spine-chilling episode of Scary Stories. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you never miss an episode. And if you have your own scary story to share, leave it in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe, and beware of the things that go bump in the night.